Hello everyone, PenguinSal here. I'm glad it seems you guys are enjoying these game review videos, so we're going to keep going with this for a while. Today's game that we're reviewing is called Dicey Dungeons. This game is not new. It's been out for a little while now, and has had some major updates over time. But we're going to review it now. So this game I have to give a lot of credit to because while dice builder games have become more common in that you collect dice and use them to, fight enemies and things in these roguelike games, this one took a different turn on the type of combat where you would roll dice, yes, and that part was randomized. You would use the rolls that you got in certain abilities and weapons to do different amounts of damage and effects to the enemies. I actually thought it played out pretty interestingly. I think one of the things that it did well was you didn't just rely on high rolls all the time. While some weapons did more damage if you put, a 5 or 6 in comparatively, there were things that you could only use if you had a 3 or less. There were things that were 2s or less. There were things that were odds and evens. So you actually kind of had to play around with your dice rolls a bit. Also, the game had 6 different characters that all had different mechanics to them and passive abilities and different ways to control them, which I thought that was pretty interesting, and that the characters did not play out similarly at all. Some of them relied more on defense. Some of them relied more on low roll attacks. Some of them had interesting mechanics in terms of like the ways they rolled the dice or the types of equipment that they would want to put in their backpack and have equipped at any time. There was definitely enough variety in this to make the characters seem different and unique from one another, which goes a long way for a game like this because the game has 36 episodes technically, because there's 6 episodes per character and there's 6 characters. So that's 36 times you have to beat the game to complete Dicey Dungeons. And that's a lot easier for somebody to want to do if the characters all feel unique and different in their own right. And I think Dicey Dungeon did that well. The game also has a really fun ambiance to it, in that it takes out like in a game show setting, and the characters that you are actually dice, and then you go and fight all sorts of strange monsters, and the whole time the music is just blaring and it is fantastic the whole way through. So that doesn't make it feel like a drag at all when the music is cranking and everything is so fun and interesting to look at. The monster designs were a lot of fun too, in that they always had unique abilities in that they could be working with elements, they could be freezing, they could be burning, they could be shocking. There were some that I thought were more annoying, like silence and curse, that make it so you can't use your abilities, or there's a chance that your actions might fail. Some of that stuff, I'll admit, did get frustrating as time went on, and the harder difficulty characters definitely took a lot more brain power to try to operate than the first runs that were a lot simpler. But I'd say all in all, this game has a lot to offer. With there being the 36 levels, so 6 difficulties per character, that does have a lot of replayability to it without just mindlessly doing run after run after run. So I do have to give it credit for that. I thought there was a lot of uniqueness in the different types of weapons and equipment you could have, and there was definitely strategy because you could only fit a specific amount of equipment in your backpack at a time. So you really kind of had to play around with the strategy of how you wanted to attack each character and build synergies off the types of dice that you would roll and passive abilities. I thought that was a lot of fun. I mean, obviously this is the type of game that's right up my alley. I love games where you can take a little bit of extra time to think through each of your moves and build synergies that make the game seem a lot more satisfying as you progress further in them. So I would say go ahead and give Dicey Dungeons a chance if you haven't. It has been out for a little while now, and I think it has had some acclaim. So there's a chance you might have already tried it. If you did, feel free to let me know in the comments what you think about Dicey Dungeon, and if this is a favorite of yours. It definitely seems like a game that we're going to tackle more in the future, because we'd like to knock out some more of the future episodes. If you like what you saw here, feel free to give the video a like. Like I said, let me know in the comments how you feel about Dicey Dungeons. Tell me what character is your favorite. I'm not 100% sure what my favorite was. I thought they all had some unique traits to them, and it made it hard to choose. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. It would go a long way in helping the channel grow. You guys have been great about that recently, and it's really nice to wake up and see that more and more people are reaching out and viewing the channel. I hope you guys are enjoying these game reviews. I've really enjoyed making them. If you want to check out Dicey Dungeons, I do have a link for it in the description below. Just reach out in any of my social media channels if you want to get in touch. I'd love to discuss indie games. I'd love to hear more about games you'd like to see on the channel and other games you'd like for me to review. I appreciate you guys watching this. I hope you enjoyed Dicey Dungeons as much as I did, and I hope you're excited for the next video as well. Thanks, guys.